Hello, so welcome to Chapter 5 Cardiology, or the cardiovascular system, excuse me. So, the cardiovascular system, one of my more favorite topics. Uh, when I worked in critical care transport full time and when I was flying, most of the patients we saw were cardiac patients. So, cards is fun to me, and I like the anatomy, but I'll promise I'll keep it short and we'll cruise through some of these things and get through here pretty quickly. So, let's start off the cardiovascular system. The heart and blood vessels. That's what it's made of, all right? The heart is one of the important organs in your body, right? To live, there's really two things. Air has to go in and out, and blood has to go round and round, and that's how it works. So your cardiovascular system, heart, arteries, capillaries, veins. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Veins carry it back. Capillaries are where gas exchange happens. Simple as that. And I'll let you read through all of the structure and terminology here. I think it's pretty straightforward. If you have questions, let me know, and we'll move on to some of the disease processes. All right, so one of the first diseases and disease processes in the book are DVTs, or deep vein thrombosis, or thrombosi, if there's multiple. And you hear about this a lot. They happen when you sit for a long period of time. They're blood clots that happen in the major veins and vessels, usually in the lower limbs, and they cut off blood supply. Sometimes they partially block the flow. Sometimes they completely block the flow. Complete is worse, right? And if you block the flow back to the heart, well, blood can't come in either. It just backs up, and badness can ensue. So how do we treat it? Well, we can give you anticoagulants, or we can go in there. We can give thrombolytics. It's early in the morning. I haven't had my tea yet. Forgive me. We can give you thrombolytics and go in there and dissolve blood clots. And sometimes we can actually go in, and it's not in the book here, but we can go in and get those blood clots out. We go in and stick a little device in, and we can just suck out those clots. It's kind of cool. So the next disease process is a big one, coronary artery disease. It kills a lot of people, right? Heart disease. The arteries around the heart, the coronary arteries, have issues. This can cause angina, chest pain. Angina is chest pain. You also hear it said angina. So angina or angina are both appropriate and correct, depending on who you ask, where you hear it. It's just one of those things. There are a couple of terms in medicine that are not pronounced the same all over the world, or even in the U.S., or even in the same hospital. One of them is centimeter. For some reason, in medicine, you'll hear centimeter referred to as sonometer. No idea why. Happens sometimes. So angina or angina. Anyway, back to coronary artery disease. You can have shortness of breath, chest pain. Those are the main symptoms. You can see here in the chart the stereotypical distribution of where some of this stuff happens. If men are having chest pain, it also always happens in the chest, left arm radiating into the upper jaw. Women, and again here, no one knows why this happens, but you have some more atypical signs of coronary artery disease. It's not necessarily always just chest pain. Sometimes it's stomach pain. Sometimes it's pain radiating to different areas. That's why more women die of heart attacks once it's women are diagnosed later in the process of coronary artery disease than men, because the symptoms are more varied and aren't as straightforward. Again, not trying to be sexist or anything. It is the way it is. I didn't make the body. Sorry, women, you get the short end of the stick on this one. It's no good. Right. So let's move on here. Coronary artery disease, basically it happens when stuff gets blocked up. Plaque builds up on the walls. Sometimes that plaque will completely close off, or sometimes that plaque will shrink the size of the wall, or shrink the size of the artery, and then it'll catch a little blood clot. And then that goes bad. Or a piece of plaque will break off and float upstream and clog a smaller artery. And then you can get some kind of stroke or heart attack. Basically, an occlusive stroke in the brain is the same thing as an occlusive stroke in the heart, right? You're cutting off blood supply. So the risk factors, I think you guys understand them, but don't smoke. If you have high blood pressure, get it treated. Get checked for high blood pressure, especially if you have a family history of it. If you're obese, I know, shut up. I'm overweight. I get it. All right, I've had 2 heart attacks. I know better, but I'm working on it. But if you're obese, you need to work on that. And cholesterol definitely can lead to problems as well. So how do you fix that? Change your lifestyle. There are plenty of medications you can take to control this. If you're having constant chest pain or bouts of angina, sometimes they'll give you nitroglycerin tablets to keep with you. Keep your blood pressure under control. Keep your cholesterol under control. Eat well. And sometimes you have to do a cath, a PCA or a PTCA, percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty. Right, that's when we stick a wire basically into your heart and go in there and look for clots and put in stents if we have to stent the arteries or whatever. You see it here as PTCA. It's really usually abbreviated as PCA. Just something to know.